Owlsley approaches Xzzantor, alone at the quarry, after the others have gone to sleep. Ho-ho! Oh, why, hello there, my friend. How are you this evening?
Hey, Owlsley, right? That was your name? I'm doing great, man. It's been a long day and even a longer night under the stars. My fam in the background rooting for me. It's been lovely. How's your evening going, bud?
Well, I've dozed a bit and had the most terrific dream, and I dare say I have an idea. Something that I think, could change the very fabric of our adventure. But I need your help.
Yeah? What? Sure, what was the dream?
I think that I can do some alchemical work with the acid that comes from Drake Farkslot. If you would just grant me a little bit to experiment with, I think I could do some fantastic things.
You need some Drake juice?
Oh, Drake juice, yes. Why, that's what we'll call it. Liquid...
Farkslot, come here. He gestures to the dragon, the little puppy dragon, his buddy, and Drake kind of walks up close to him, and Xzzantor, his eyes flash this little dragon flashing thing, and they meet Drake's eyes, and they flash, and they kind of communicating, and they're communicating what they need. And so he grabs like a little pail off the ground, something from his mess kit, and he has Drake kind of drain some of his juice into the thing for him, and he hands it over to Owlsley. He's like, "Is this what you wanted?"
Yes, that's exactly what I need. Liquid spittle from a Drake. Woohoo! I thank you. I'll take this and I'll just let you know how it goes.
Fantastic. Well, hey, I got some questions, man. I've really been wondering because how much do you know about this stuff? This alchemical, all the crazy stuff. Do you know anything about the gods or goddesses of the world? I'm kind of let me know what you find out, man. I'm real interested.
It's my hope that with this liquid spittle from a Drake and a little bit of good old-fashioned science and maybe a sprinkle of magic, well, perhaps we can meet the very gods themselves. I make no promises, Xzzantor. Good night.
Good luck. Good night.
Wooks and Warlocks contains sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and as such is intended for adults. Listener discretion is advised. Content warning in the description.
All's well that ends well is the sort of thing someone says after a seriously screwed up side quest. It's about time for the Happy Tricksters to get back on the road to find the Warlocks. With the van fixed up and the hag hog-tied and the box in the trunk, there's no telling what will come next in the world of Wooks and Warlocks.
Hello and welcome to Wooks and Warlocks, a role-playing tour through the summer of love. In this podcast, we will be playing out a story of adventure and magic using dice and skills to determine the outcomes of our actions. My name is Trey Miller, and I will play the role of Game Master for this journey. I am joined by 4 of the finest folks to roll the dice. Please introduce yourselves and your characters.
Anthony, I'll be playing Xzzantor, the Bugfolk Drake Ranger.
My name's John Lombardi. I'll be playing Elijah Woodstone, the Enlightened Farm Wizard.
My name is Jessie. I will be playing Granny Glenda. She is a half-fox folk rogue.
Hello everyone, I'm Vanessa Suchek. I will be playing Remy Riz. She is a inquisitive rogue rat folk.
When we last left the Happy Tricksters and the adventurers from beyond time, they were taking a well-earned rest at the quarry just off the road in the Malevolent Mountains. After being tricked and nearly destroyed by a wicked hag by the name of Penelope, the party rescued a fairy dragon queen whose name also happened to be Penelope. They drove away the wicked hag with the help of redcaps and blastcaps and myconids of the Fey realm. The van, the precious chariot which carries the party down the road, had been severely damaged in an altercation with redcaps while the party was being deceived by the hag Penelope. Luckily, the quarry where the party found themselves was filled to the brim with broken vehicles, the relics of the hag's previous mischief. John Paul, Penny Lane, Owlsley, and King Kenzie worked late into the evening, switching out the broken pieces of their precious van and replacing them with stellar tubular off-road heavy-duty tires, man. After working late into the evening, they succeeded at repairing the van and retired to bed. We returned to our party the following morning as the sun rises on the quarry and they prepare to travel to the mountain jam, which begins in roughly a day and a half.
Well, fellas, I'm excited to go ahead and get on the road. What about you guys?
I'm feeling great. It's been a great ride. We accomplished so much yesterday. And, oh man, yeah, it sounds really, really good. It's nice to get going. We got this trunk, this old trunk back here full of this, this what, and we can use it whenever we want. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you, Xzzantor, all that murder sure felt good. I mean, don't tell anyone else I said that, but I know you understand.
I do, Granny.
My goodness, what are you all getting on about? Penelope, the fairy queen of the quarry, approaches.
Penelope, my love. How are you?
Oh, it's you. Hello.
Hello. How's your morning treating you?
I feel lovely and wonderful. My companions have rebuilt my home, and it is so beautiful. I have a place to live once more, free of that wicked hag. Y'all got rid of her, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes.
She's locked away.
We took care of it. We took care of it, my love.
Eli,
what are you saying?
What are you whispering about?
Excuse me? Yes?
Listen, I'm just so grateful for you all coming and helping out, and I think it's been just lovely having guests, but I must admit, I would like some privacy just for a little bit, as I have not been home alone for some time. And would you all please let me know what your schedule's looking like?
Yeah, I believe we're heading out of here as soon as the van's ready. I will thank you for your hospitality, ma'am. And we'll miss this place. It's got a great energy.
You're always welcome back.
We'll definitely take you up on that. I'd like to swim in that water again sometime.
Oh, you gotta get in there without your clothes on. That's the real way to enjoy the quarry. Don't tell nobody I said that, though.
I sure won't tell anybody.
I couldn't agree more.
Do we have a minute, guys? Xzzantor looks to the crew and he starts stripping off his gear or whatever.
Did you want to take a quick dip?
20-30 minutes, just real quick before you get all this grime of war off of me. And he looks over at Penelope and smiles a little bit.
How do our mechanics think about that? Are they still working?
You see Owlsley, John Paul, Penny Lane, and King Kensley have gathered together and are enjoying a cup of coffee in the garage near the van. It does look like the repairs are complete. Xzzantor, roll for persuasion as you make eyes at Penelope, the fairy queen.
Natural 1.
Oh, natural 1.
We all had high hopes for Xzzantor, but you see, as you begin to disrobe, a look of displeasure cross Penelope's face, and she says, I just explained I was looking forward to privacy and that you should come back later. Son, put your clothes on, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. And she is now kind of a little frustrated with you. She says, Listen, don't make me change my mind about having Boots go off on an adventure with you. It seems like y'all are getting along just fine, but you're acting mighty rude. Put your pants on, young man.
Apologies. I just haven't showered in days. It's been a long road. I was just looking to rinse off before we get back on the road. 1,000 apologies. We will leave, and I will take the best of care of Boots the cat. He's loved and will be treated greatly. Thank you so much. Goodbye. He tries to turn away and will quickly and leave.
She just sort of stands there with her hands on her hips, and looks at you and sort of leans in and just wags a finger at you, sort of matronly, and
his scorpion tail's like kind of wagging as he's walking away.
That Xzzantor, and she's going to look to the rest of the party. I don't mean to rush y'all out, but he is just so rude. I think he wants some of this granny fanny, but I'm telling you, it's not available for one like him. He's too rude.
Oh, I understand. You can't just give it out to anyone. I mean, they gotta really work for it.
Well, you would know, wouldn't you, Glenda? You know, maybe you and I could... Well, never mind. I really do think y'all should go. I've got things to do. And you see her go towards the quarry, and she's going to step behind an outgrowth of bamboo shoots. And in the silhouette of the morning sunrise, you can see the shadows of her robes falling to the floor, and then wings sprouting from her back as she changes form into that of a majestic dragon. She does not move from behind the outcropping of bamboo.
We're gonna go now.
Yeah, Xzzantor's definitely gonna roll a
Come on,
perception check.
Xzzantor, roll for perception.
Load up.
Fucking 5.
With your 5, you are overcome with shame and do not turn back and see this glorious, rapturous vision of Penelope changing forms. Even in silhouette, the view would be enough to fill the heart of any soul for eternity, but you missed it. And you saunter in the direction of the garage as you've been dismissed. John Paul yelling, "Come on, it's time to go. Yeah, we've got to get into the van and leave. We've only got a little bit of time left and we've still got to gas up." Penny Lane yells from the passenger seat as John Paul honks the horn.
Why, you better not rush an old woman and her bones. And Granny Glenda's just gonna walk a little slow.
Roll for intimidation.
It's gonna be fun. Oh no. 10.
With your 10, you notice that they are neither pushed. They're not pushed to change their action in any way. They're just saying, "Come on, Granny. Yeah, Glenda, you can move faster than that. I know you can." Penny says with sort of a knowing wink.
Come on, Granny, we're gonna get some gas station snacks. Let's go.
Well, one of you boys better carry me.
All right, I'll carry Granny.
Roll an athletics check to see how successfully you carry Granny Glenda.
Oh. 6. My back must hurt.
You drop Granny Glenda once you pick her up.
I think I pulled a muscle.
Roll a dexterity saving throw, Granny Glenda.
That is going to be 15.
You land deftly on your feet, putting your legs underneath you before you hit the ground.
You're a lot heavier than you look, Granny. Must be all that gear.
Don't you call me fat boy.
No such thing.
As this exchange happens, John Paul continues to honk the horn playfully at the group as they meander at their own pace towards the van. Do you load into the van?
Loading in.
Yeah.
King, I need a bacchiotomy.
My friend, I will be happy to give you a little rub down in the back of the van if that would help you out. I've got the oils right here.
And he pulls out what would appear to be a squirt bottle filled with some sort of viscous fluid.
Yes.
Xzzantor would go sit on whatever the trunk that we got the old hag in. He would like go sit on top of that with like his little mushroom friend and the cat.
So as you try to enter the van, your mushroom friend is going to hop off of your shoulder, and he's going to point at you, and he's going to point at the quarry, and he's going to reach out with his rapport spores. What do you do to try to convince your little mushroom friend to leave his cluster and join your cluster?
Hey, buddy. So as he sees this, he's like, he doesn't really mind. Xzzantor doesn't care if he goes back home, but he does want him to join him. And he looks at the little guy and he's like, man, if you want an adventure. So he's like, hey little guy, do you want to go on an adventure of your lifetime? Do you really want to live? I mean, sure, go back home. It'll be great. But do you want to live? He like tries to convince him with deception.
Deception? Okay. So there's not going to be adventure? In what way is this a deception? That sounds like just a persuasion.
Yeah, I guess just persuasion would be better. Because I have no idea. He could die in the next encounter. And
I suppose
I don't think Xzzantor would care either way.
Well, okay, so if you're being deceptive about including him, I would just add that if that is your approach, you're going to be making this roll with disadvantage because he can read your thoughts. So
that's a 3.
You're just supposed to picture him having a really good time.
I pictured him dying.
That's exactly kind of what happens is like you're attempting to deceive him and let him know that there is something beautiful coming for him. This is going to be a great adventure, but then the next thing you imagine is his horrible, gruesome death. And the mushroom shudders and hops away noiselessly.
Xantor's like in his head, he's like, it's for the best. He just walks off because he's got the cat. He's like knows the cat would be the next fodder for him. Xantor is very selfish about that kind of stuff.
So
he doesn't care. He's like, oh, for the best. Probably you would have died anyway.
I think that little mushroom fellow should stay with his people.
He'll be safe that way. Fucking pleasant. He mumbles some like horrible shit as he walks to the back of the bus and then like sits on the crate where the old hag is.
As you load into the bus, John Paul cranks the engine, tests the gas, and the van creaks out of the garage and onto the dirt road that leads to the main road. As you travel outside of the bubble that is Penelope's quarry, the fey magic that envelops the air slowly fades. By the time you reach the road proper, By the time you reach the road proper, the morning has set in full. Birds are chirping, and you hear cars passing on the road ahead. John Paul turns right, and the group continues down the road After a short distance, the party passes a fill station and grocery store. John Paul pulls the van into the fill station and begins to fill the van with gas. Alright, y'all, now's your chance. Go on and get whatever snacks you need. We're going to be at the festival soon. It's a good time to fill up, and this is a proper grocery store.
Granny Glenda's gonna hop out and kind of just check out the area and look around, not necessarily go inside for any snacks or anything.
Alright, so roll for perception.
That's gonna be a 21.
Okay, with your 21, you notice that the area around you looks like it was once a thriving small roadside town but has since been abandoned. The grocery store that you are at has one gas pump for fill up and one car parked at it. You see a van parked behind the fill station. In front of the fill station, there are hay bales, indicating the rural nature of the area that you are in. And across the street, and across the road, you see two abandoned buildings with a dark alleyway betwixt them. The abandoned buildings have been boarded up, and you see they are nestled between a plateau and a small outcropping of rocks. On the same side of the road as you, across the parking lot from the fill station and grocery store, you see what was once an old barn, now a tumbled mess of timber.
So after kind of seeing how desperate this town looks and seeing that probably not very many people have gone into this grocery store for some time, she's going to decide to go in and give them some business and check out what they have.
Granny Glenda enters the store. Does anyone else enter the store?
I'm going to grab from the hay barrels and just grab a couple handfuls to replenish our tinder boxes.
So you're grabbing some hay as you walk in the store?
Yeah, just like a little bit, like a little handful, since we've been making camp.
Hey man, that's not free. The shopkeeper yells at you while caught in a rapt conversation, an intense exchange with an individual at the counter. He looks your way for a second. Says, you got to pay for that, you know?
Sorry, sir, about that. How much for just a couple handfuls?
Give me $5. You can have whatever you need.
All right. I'll pay for it.
He returns to his intense exchange with a rat folk woman who pleads for his attention.
Kind sir, I am Remy. I am just a lone traveler, and I have lost such a precious item. And I'm inquiring if you have seen an item. It seems to be made of gold, but it is not. It is just tarnished, palm-sized medallion that I put on an amulet. Have you seen this such item?
Hey, listen, I told you. Ain't nothing here I can do. Help you with your little thing. You got robbed by the Wooks. That's what happens when you run with Wooks. Wook's gonna wook. What else do you reckon? Now, if I have to get you to get out of my store, I'll say so. But you haven't spent any money, and it seems like all you're here to do is bug me out.
Sir, that is not what I'm here for. I'm sure I have money on me. I know I had $100. What do you have for sale?
All right, now we're talking business, okay? Listen, lady. He looks up from his conversation to the group entering the store. He says, "Good day, I'll get to you in just a little bit then. Look around, find whatever you like. Mind yourself. I've got eagle eyes, all right? And,
do we recognize Remy from anywhere?
Roll for perception. And everyone can roll for perception here.
Whoever's in there. Yeah, 6 is my number today.
Where is Xzzantor?
21 is my number.
Nice, that's much better.
Xzzantor's on the bus. He's like he summoned his Drake buddy back, and he's like getting his companions in order. I imagine he would have sent Drake to go like watch them from a distance, but he's just chilling, sitting with the rest of the gang, like talking about tonight and partying and shit. He's not too worried about this place.
Awesome. So,
but Drake is probably like out here, like keeping an eye, and they have a telepathic link or whatever. Hopefully,
I don't think they do yet. Yeah, I think that's not the case.
Xzzantor's definitely keeping an eye on Drake, like you would a young man, like just every 2 or 3 seconds checking back on him.
Okay, cool. So Xzzantor's just kind of kicking it. So, Elijah, you are shopping. You don't notice anything in particular. Granny Glenda, you recognize the rat folk at the counter. You recognize that this rat folk was at Jim James's general store in the beginning of your adventure. They returned to their conversation. All right, then. Here's what I got for you. If you need potions, I got potions. You need food. You need supplies. I can help you with that. Most people like to get a little bit of bottled water, and occasionally, I'll pawn a thing or two. I'm not afraid to buy something and resell it. I've got some ammunition. I've got a couple basic firearms, but for the most part, all I do is sell groceries, sell gas. That's what most people need around here. Is there anything in particular you need, ma'am?
I would love some water. I'm very parched.
That'll be one buck, and here. You know what? I'll throw you an extra on the house. He's going to hand you 2 bottles of water.
Thank you, kind sir. Then I reach into my pocket.
As you reach
shuffling around.
Yeah, as you reach into your pocket to find your bag that holds your supplies, you realize that you've been pickpocketed. Roll for perception. Granny Glenda and Elijah, you can also roll for perception.
7.
16.
9.
Elijah, with your 16, you see a small waif, a young individual, not yet in their teenage years, has cut the bag from this rat folk's hip and is taking off outside of the store. They run across the road. Xzzantor?
Yeah, would the Drake see this?
Yeah, the Drake sees it.
Are they still within 60 feet of me?
Alright, I think he's alerting Xzzantor as well.
They're going to take their full movement speed to move 60 feet, and I do not believe that you would still be
not within range.
I think you'd be right past 60 feet, because they're going to bonus action dash and then get on out of dodge. So they have run exactly 60 feet, and you were not next to them when this happened.
Oh, man. So I can't even, me moving, they're still outpacing me.
You could move and try to catch up with them, yeah, definitely. Or you could move within range and try to do something.
Yeah, when I saw him run and take off, if I noticed that, I was going to take off after him. And, try to keep, within range and possibly hit him with a dart.
Yeah, go ahead. You can move within dart range.
What's the range on the bus to the perpetrator?
So, The bus is at the fill pump, and you are inside the bus. We have determined it is difficult terrain to get out into and out of the bus. So that's going to add 10 feet to whatever you're doing if you're thinking about moving. But in general, the roguish character that is running away is about 25 feet from the bus, and Xzzantor, all you are aware of is that this person is running away from the store and towards the abandoned buildings across the street. Which is, of course, suspicious.
But not worth shooting at.
That's a 22 to hit with Sleeping Dart.
Okie dokie, roll a d10 and let's see how much HP gets put to sleep.
Only a 1.
So you hit his leg, and you see him shake his leg as though his leg has gone to sleep for a second, and he's like banging it on the ground, and then he gets his wits back a few moments later, and he is going to continue to run. You all are Xzzantor. Drake has seen this, and because you are watching Drake and you're watching Drake's reaction, you see him run into these abandoned buildings across the street. And when I say into, it would be most accurate to say he runs into the dark alleyway between the two buildings. There is no opening on the front of these buildings that you see, and it would appear that they've gone behind the building.
He relays that to the whole crew. He's like, "Hey guys, did y'all see that? It looks like one of these guys."
What was
it? Not too sure, but it looked like Elijah tagged this dude with a sleeping dart, and now he ran into the alley over there. And he points.
My goodness, that sounds like it bears investigating.
Maybe so. I'm gonna get off. Y'all. So we're assuming that the trunk that the hag is in is like constantly locked.
It's locked, okay. And as she is hogtied, it's not rattling the way that it was previously when Penelope was in there. Penelope the good, as opposed to Penelope the bad.
He checks all those locks. And look, Xandor's going to check and recheck these locks 1,000 times.
Yeah, check the locks, roll for investigation.
Just making sure it stays locked?
Yeah. It's like a magical hag inside, right?
And I'm still chasing that kid?
You were chasing
with the
yes, you were chasing the kid.
You got 16 for investigation.
The locks are fine. Nothing has changed on the box since you put it in the van.
He's taking boots and getting off to go meet up with Drake.
Alrighty.
Do I see this from inside the store?
You are aware that someone has run out of the store. You watched Elijah run out of the store. You did not see that they pickpocketed, but you did hear Remy exclaim. Remy, how are you reacting to this situation?
I am pretty much freaking out. That's pretty much all I had on me. Do I know if I was able to hear like them saying that that guy took my
everything is you reached for your just a little recap. You reached for your pouch. Your pouch was gone. Elijah watched as the individual cut it from your hip. You reached down right after that, and then the individual ran from the store, this young kid. Elijah immediately took off after the young kid, and you watched this humongous elk person storm out of the store after this young kid. So all of that is really obvious to everyone that's in there right now, including Granny Glenda. As far as whether or not you know that they stole from me, now the context clues are pretty obvious what's happening.
So I also would like to run out after.
All right, so you take off running. He has already gone into the building, so you are you could take off outside, and Elijah and Xzzantor and everyone are gathering, aware that the waif has run into the building.
Granny Glenda's gonna go with them too.
Alright, so I'm gonna run out. Remy's running out, joins the group, and is just in awe of them actually trying to help, especially when the store owner was no help at all. Did you guys see where he went?
And I'm farther ahead. I'm not with them right now, right? I'm farther ahead after the kid. Or are we all together?
You just like shot him, right? And the dude was running.
I threw a dart at him and like kept running after him. He went inside.
Yeah. So you ran your full movement speed, which puts you where you are now.
Gotcha.
His turn came back around again, and he ran and hid behind these buildings. You know that he has run and hid. Elijah knows that he has run and hid behind the buildings, and Xzzantor knows that he has run and hid behind the buildings. If we were looking at this like a turn order, in the next 6 seconds, everyone else who didn't roll good on their perception checks has now run outside of the store and is aware of what's happening because you took off after them. They've caught up with you, and so you are where you were, and they've caught up with you. And now Remy is talking with you, Granny Glenda is talking with you, Xzzantor, and everybody's like, hey, you saw him go over there, right?
My friend, what's your name?
My name is Remy Riz.
Remy, I saw what just happened. Some little thief, some little sneaky little thief came up and cut your coin purse and took off with it and ran inside that building over there. I think we should try to surround it.
You want to get... how much was in your coin purse here? What?
It's about the principal.
What was your name again, miss?
Remy Riz.
Remy Riz.
And I had about $100.
There's $100.
$100. Yes, we are heroes, and we will save your money.
Oh, cut all that nonsense. We got to surround this building.
All right, this is Elijah. I'm Xzzantor. Granny, are you in on this?
Oh, I'm always in.
Don't count me out. I'm going to help as well. That's helping other brothers out, and it always seems to be women when I say that. So I'm going to say ho-wo from now on, and it's just going to work. So ho-wo, helping other brothers out. It's an acronym.
Yes, $100.
King Kenzie is going to look at you with a side eye, and you guys move across the street towards the abandoned buildings. How do you approach the abandoned buildings in an attempt to surround them to try to capture this waif?
Xzzantor would be like across the street from the buildings, the alley being like in front of him to his left, and then a rock outcropping that's right beside the building to the right of the building would be like up across the street to his right.
Roll for perception.
And he ran into the one across the street?
He ran between the alleys, and you lost sight of him.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah, so last he knows he was in the alley. He did 14 for perception.
With your 14 on perception, you notice that the rocky outcropping which flanks this building looks like it would be easily climbable and could be used to access the roof of this structure. That's what you notice from your position, Xzzantor. Elijah, where do you position yourself around these buildings and rocky plateaus and outcroppings in order to flank this thief?
He knows I'm pursuing him, so I'm going to follow his trail, but I'm going to kind of direct others to climb up and scale the walls and get a better vantage point that we can drop in on them.
All right, so Elijah's going to move his full movement speed to get into position, following the young thief into the dark alleyway.
And, as I'm leaving, I'm going to say, I'm going to give you all a signal when I yell, "Ow, my butt!" You guys jump down. And I'm also going to, in the alleyway that I'm walking in, I'm going to cast Snare on the ground there.
Okay.
Are you hollering that at us?
Yeah, I was going to say, roll for stealth.
Be stealthy, baby. Come on.
Stealthy booty top.
All right. Oh, natural 20 for 24.
All right, so somehow you are throwing your voice, and although It is as loud as a yell in your companion's ears. The people that you were chasing cannot hear you shouting your plan at your companions.
My talisman's glowing a little bit. I think it might have just saved my ass a bit.
So, Granny Glenda, where do you position yourself to surround these buildings and capture the thief?
Granny Glenda is going to scale up the rocks on the right or left side of the building and climb up onto the roof of the building. Kind of be stealthy while doing it.
Which rocks are you trying to scale? There's the rocky outcropping on the right of these two buildings, and there's a plateau with sort of a straight face on the left of the buildings. Are you trying to approach the straight-faced plateau?
No, she'll go for the rocky outcrop on the right side of the buildings then.
Alrighty. It takes Granny Glenda a little bit longer than the other folks to get to her position, as it is on the far side of the building. Roughly 20 seconds have passed. Remy, while these 20 seconds have passed, where do you position yourself?
Remy would like to go on the top corner of the roof of this building, of the building on the right.
Alrighty, so Remy, following Granny Glenda's lead, is going to position themselves on top of the building in a hopes of flanking and pincering this thief. King Kenzie is going to stick close to the front wall of the building on the left in order to offer support to Elijah Woodstone. As Elijah, Granny Glenda, King Kenzie, and Remy Riz approach their positions in their pincer formation, they see the young waif on the ground or in front of them, behind the building. Elijah approaches through the alleyway and comes to a large parked van. The van has a stench to it that smells bright and light, like the air itself is tainted with a gas. Granny Glenda, when you look down from your rocky outcropping, you see the young waif handing over a bag to two large individuals whose faces are obscured by masks that we in the real world would know as gas masks. But you, as a member of a time-traveling band of adventurers from the past, would have very little way to describe this horrific, almost, I suppose it would be most comparable to like a plague doctor's mask. And you see their faces completely obscured by rebreathers, long trench coats on their body. These gassers take a bag from the young thief and send the thief darting into the woods behind the building. They open the bag, and you can see them counting the bucks in the bag. Remy, you watch. Give me a perception roll, Remy. I'm afraid an 8 is going to reveal nothing other than what has been said. And you identify the bag that has been given to those gassers, to the men wearing gas masks, as your bag of holding. How do you proceed?
So am I able to see that from the other side of the van?
You are able. You saw the exchange. Everyone that has approached has seen the exchange. Xzzantor did not see the exchange because he stayed across the street.
I'm going to attempt to sneak in. Like they're at the back of the van, right?
They're at the back of the van. You are at the front of the van.
I'm going to attempt to sneak into the front of the van and see if the keys are in it, and if they are, I'm going to remove them.
Oh, okay. So we have established Arcana as our vehicle handling check. So let's roll for Arcana.
If Xzzantor sees Elijah go into sneak mode, he'll sneak across the road as well and get a little closer.
Xzzantor is going to move closer into position with Drake Farkslot.
I'm still riding off the sneaky essence of that nat 20, baby. Arcana, that's going to be a 15.
With your 15 in Arcana, you manage to enter the vehicle. Let's roll on the D100 to find out if the keys are in it.
Xzzantor would try to whisper to Elijah, be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you trying to do, man? Are we taking this thing?
Your goal is to roll under a 75.
I'm trying to create some leverage.
Fuck yeah.
35.
With your 35, you find the keys have been left in the ignition.
So yeah, I'm going to snag those babies. Do I need to sleight of hand it, or...
You can, yeah, I was going to say roll for stealth.
$11.
With your 11, as you pull the keys from the ignition, unbeknownst to you, you lean forward on the steering wheel, sliding onto a large button built into the center of the steering wheel, and a noise comes from the front of the van, louder than a moose elk's honk.
What was that? Oh my God!
Let's go!
Are you attempting to run away?
No, I'm trying to get him to drive. I imagine Xzantor's in the passenger seat, and you're like...
Xzzantor, how did you get in the passenger seat?
Well, because we're sneaking together, right?
No, you were sneaking up behind.
You were sneaking up behind me, but I imagine you're telling you.
Well, I saw him.
I think you were you were probably by the front driver's door area and heard that.
So the horn has honked. Xzzantor, you can interact with this by
I like what he said there.
up.
I was going with that. I was gonna grab the keys and try to book it, and make it to where they see that I have their keys, and then run back where I came from, but tell Xzzantor to jump over this area where I laid the snare.
Okie dokie. So you're trying to grab the keys and get them to chase you into the. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Xzzantor was trying to get you to run them over with the car.
Our cover is blown. Xzzantor is trying to get on the vehicle. So, if he sees you driving the vehicle,
I've never driven one. I don't know how to do that. I'm lucky I was able to find the keys.
So
I think.
So you
Xzzantor can swim.
You grab the keys and you're gonna run. Give me an acrobatics to try to get away in a way that will taunt them.
Shaking them in the air, waving my hands.
Shaking his hands in the air.
Yeah, waving them All right, what was this? What was the roll? Acrobatics. Natural 20.
You describe the way this looks.
So I'm running, I slide out of the car and duck past the door, but I purposely jingle the keys and wave my hands above my head as I'm doing an awesome maneuver around the front of the car. And a little butt scoot on the edge of the hood to bump me in the right direction back down the alley that I came from. And then even after I go past the alley, I peek back around the corner and shake him again and then turn.
All right, let's get him. He's right over there. Come on.
And they're going to chase you down the alleyway right into your trap. At which point we are going to need to roll for initiative as combat has begun.
$15 for Xzzantor. 1-5.
6 for Remy.
6? Ooh.
Alright, so the way that we'll do initiative, and we'll do this every time, is I'm going to ask you if you got over a 20, then I'm going to ask you if you got between 20 and 15, then I'm going to ask you, and so on and so forth, and that'll help me keep it in order as I write it down. Alright, so who got over a 20?
Me, 23.
23 for Elijah Woodstone. Who got between a 15 and a 20?
Xzzantor got 15.
Who got between a 10 and a 15?
Granny Glenda got a 13.
Who had a 14? Somebody had a 14, right? Oh, that was me. I wrote that. Who got below a 10?
Remy Riz with a 6.
As the gas mask wearing thugs who have Remy's stolen bag dash down the alleyway, they run right into Elijah Woodstone's trap.
Alright, so there'd be a dex save of 15.
They both fail.
Oh man. So they both in an instant get like an invisible rope is there, get grabbed by their ankles, flipped upside down and left dangling like 3 feet above the ground.
Hanging from like the air itself.
Yeah, it's like invisible, like the only thing that like looks like it.
Does it only affect one person?
Let me see. Yeah, it does say the trap triggers when a small, medium, or large creature moves onto the ground. So unless they were like running and stepping within a 5
so one of them is going to get pulled up into the air, and the other looks back, what the hell, and is going to keep dashing forward at Eli. Elijah, it is your turn. There is a gasser hot on your tail. Your friends are surrounding you in their ambush positions.
I'm going to attempt to kind of like stop him in his tracks with my horns and grapple him.
Okie dokie. Let's roll in athletics.
$18.
He rolled a 16. So you hit him with your horns.
Stop him with them horns.
And you have him grappled. He cannot move. His movement speed has been reduced to 0. He can still act on his turn, and he can use his turn to attempt to break the grapple.
Free action to speak?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, listen here, buddy. I don't know what dealings you're doing out of the back of that van, but whatever was purchased was done with stolen cash, man. That was not that little kid's money. And I'm here to take back what's rightfully owed my friend back here.
I know that wasn't that kid's money. He was stealing it for us.
Breaking the law?
You see the gas mask that covers this ne'er-do-well's face fogs his eyes, but you see a green tint to his skin from the viewport of the mask as you hold him close and attempt to speak with this individual. He looks at you with eyes that reflect no moral fiber.
These guys have 0 moral fiber. To death with you, sir. And then I think that ends my turn because don't think I have any more action I can do after the grappling.
Xzzantor, it is your turn.
Xzzantor was just about to look at Elijah and ask him, you know, if this is a kill situation or just beat him up situation, and then he sees how red you've turned, and he kind of likes it, so he's gonna go in for the kill and send his little baby boy and send Drake in for a nice acid bite. Nice. Let's see. And then he himself is going to back up for a ranged attack. It was 15 on the bite.
All right. 15 against the gas mask wearing individual in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both like down or restrained. Like Elijah's.
Yeah, one's good. Right? Yeah, one's trapped.
So
did you roll with advantage? Because they're restrained.
Okay. Yeah, 15 still.
Unfortunately, the 15 does not hit. Which one is he going for? The one that Elijah has, or the one that?
He would take the far one. He would go to the one that's like stuck upside down.
So he's attempting to jump into the air and bite at the arms or the head or the shoulders or anything, but he just can't quite get high enough to bite them, and so he's jumping over and over again and nipping at nothing. What does Xzzantor do?
Xzzantor backs up a little bit to give him a good range. He would like pull back a little bit for his crossbow strike. So he'd kind of get into the middle of the road, make sure no cars are coming or anything. Or he doesn't know what cars are.
Yeah, you guys know what cars are at this point.
We know enough now to not get hit by one.
Yeah, to look out for him. Yeah. 27 on his crossbow.
That's going to be a big hit.
Nice.
7 damage. And the same one that Drake's trying to bite at, the one hanging upside down.
Alrighty, so no reaction from that individual as he is hit with the bolt. He is tied up by magic, hanging in air.
Actually, he does have infused strikes.
The so even more damage.
So yeah, 1d6 of acid damage whenever I
roll that damage, baby.
Yeah. Roll that damage, baby. That's another 6 damage.
You see this individual struggling helplessly against their magical bonds. As he struggles, he gets a saving throw on his turn, I imagine.
Oh, for the snare?
Yeah, unfortunately, he has no success. The gas mask wearing individual that you are grappled with is going to look at you and begin to laugh, and he is going to go limp against your grip and start releasing gaseous fumes from out of the filter holes of his mask. And I'm going to need you to, first he's going to attack. Does a 17 hit Elijah Woodstone?
Ooh, hold on. Shield happens, and that adds... Plus, no, it does not, because with shield, I'm at a 19.
Alright, so he releases these fumes, laughing, certain that his attack at such close range couldn't possibly miss, but...
You see like an aura shoot up from the talisman that I'm wearing, and it kind of just it's like an astronaut's helmet type thing that just encircles my face and blocks the hit.
So you are spared the noxious fumes of this gas mask wearing ne'er-do-well.
A little bit of the gas gets in before the shield, and Elijah sneezes like snot on the inside of the shield.
Oh my god.
So it's got little boogers on it, but it didn't help him.
Alright. As you discussed, the narrator, your party members, and every listener with the sneeze all over your astronaut mask, a unseen combatant moves forward to the edge of the roof on the far building. As you watch, he pulls something from his hip Wielding or wearing a gas mask, like his companions, this individual seems not to fight with his hand or a bludgeoning instrument. Some sort of magic wand that you have yet to see in this world is pointed down at Elijah Woodstone. He casts the spell. "21 hits."
Definitely hits.
A loud bang retorts as a metal projectile flies from the tip of this wand straight at Elijah Woodstone's shoulder. Get 2 of those. So you get to roll 2d8 for damage on this, and I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh.
So you're going to take a total of 5 damage as you are shot through the shoulder. Smoke comes from the tip of this shining silver implement of destruction, which has been pointed at Elijah Woodstone.
It's like a hand cannon. I've been shot.
Granny Glenda, it's your turn.
So, looking around in general, let's see. Granny Glenda is probably going to go for the one closest to her, which appears to be the one that just revealed himself from the shadows.
That's up here?
Yeah.
On the top of the roof?
On top of the roof, yes.
Alrighty.
And so she's gonna hop up on the rocks onto the first roof on the building on the right side, and then attempt to hop from that roof to the building to the roof of the building on the right side.
Alright, it's a bonus action to jump. So we'll use your bonus action to get you over to the other building. You still have an action.
I will, after that, I'll sneak up behind and hit him with the dagger.
Alright, go ahead and roll for attack.
Get them needles in them.
Oh, yes, my sewing needles. That's what I'm hitting him with.
Knitting needles.
Knitting needles. Natural 1.
Oh, no.
Are you rolling with advantage from your stealth?
Ooh,
No.
You flanking?
She's not flanking, but she is stealthed from the ambush plan.
Nice.
That's much better. That's going to be a 15, or 25.
Alrighty, so go ahead and roll for damage. Make sure you add your sneak attack damage.
Thanks for reminding me. So that's going to be 8 plus... That's going to be 10 damage.
Alright. He howls in pain as your knitting needles slide into his sides.
Don't you mess with my friends.
From behind, in the shadows, a heavy-set individual holding a tube of metal like a mace in one hand and another shinier tube of metal in the other with a wooden attachment steps up the rocky outcropping to step onto the roof where Granny Glenda once stood, where Remy Riz currently hides. Remy, roll for stealth to see if this individual spots you as he approaches.
18 plus 5, so 23.
So with your 23, you are more than able to press into the shadows and avoid detection as this 7-foot-tall orc, body covered in tattoos, long braided beard tied into his long braided hair, steps onto the roof. He wears a leather vest with an emblem embroidered onto the back. That emblem says Heaven's Devils. He steps up past Remy the Riz to the edge of the building. You hear a clank as he drops one of his metal tubes to the ground. He pulls up his shotgun and points it at Granny Glenda. Granny Glenda does a 5 hit.
5 does not hit.
He shoots wide as he attempts to take revenge for Granny Glenda's attack against his friend. Remy, it is your turn.
Alright, Remy is going to sneakily pull out her rapier and just sneak attack.
From your stealth position, you approach. Roll for attack.
14 plus 5, so 19.
With your 19, your rapier slides cleanly into the exposed flesh of this orc's armpit.
16 total piercing damage.
My goodness. The orc howls in pain. Elijah Woodstone, it is your turn.
Alright, after taking a shot to the shoulder by the elk folks' greatest weakness, the hunting rifle, and seeing that dude up there, I'm going to tuck myself in up against the building, like we're under the overhang, that way he doesn't have a clear shot of me, and also out of sight of the dude that shot the shotgun on the other roof across from that. And so yeah, back up against the building. And then what's the status on those dudes on the ground in the alleyway in between the two buildings? That one got snared, he's still in the snare?
The one that is still the one that was snared is still ensnared. He failed his check. You are grappling onto one of those guys. So while you're grappling,
I didn't lose my grapple from the shot?
No.
Oh, okay, nice.
Grapple doesn't play by concentration rules.
Well, then I guess I would have attempted to disengage with that guy first before I went under the roof. Pushed him, shoved him down into the alleyway.
Alrighty, you can go ahead and push with advantage, and that will be a bonus action.
Oh, natural 20 on the first one.
Alrighty, so with your natural 20, we'll give it some damage. Roll a d4 as you shove him to his feet, or shove him to his knees.
Only 1 point of damage.
Still, you do a little bit of damage to him as you shove him to his feet. Yeah, so you shove him to the floor and you still have an action remaining.
Alright, yeah, with my action, I'm going to cast Earth Trimmer on the dude that I just pushed to the ground.
Alrighty, what's the save, or how does that work?
Causes a tremor on the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area must make a dex saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone.
He's already prone, so we'll give him disadvantage on the saving throw.
There we go.
Alright, so you got a 5.
Oh, nice. So yeah, he fails. So he's going to take 1d6. And that's going to be 5 points. So yeah, the Elijah sort of basically just points his hand to the ground, and you feel a slight tremor, and this dude just looks like he's being pushed and shoved by an invisible force, just that's breaking his bones a little bit and forcing him into the ground further than I just pushed him. So it was like a physical shove followed by like a magic shove into the ground. And that, I believe, will end my turn.
All right. It is now Xzantor's turn.
Xzzantor would kind of repeat what he did last time. He'd have his Drake bite the hanging guy. Let's see, with a little acid bite for 15. Does 15 get him?
15 does not get him.
All right. Well, he's just chomping away. He's a baby dragon. You got to give him some time to get used to it.
He is still just jumping in the air at this thing.
He doesn't realize he can't jump that 3 feet
He has
yet.
spent the entire battle jumping 3 feet in the air trying to bite this guy.
And then Xzzantor clicks his crossbow again for 21 on
All right,
on the dude that we're torturing in the alleyway.
That does work. You're just terrified. He's tied up and being bit at by... We may as well get sharks with freaking lasers, man.
It's like
10
Jurassic
more
Park when
damage.
the raptor's jumping up at him, you know?
Oh
Like
my
that
God.
scene. You just see the face coming up. That's all I see. He's hanging upside down.
He is not having a good time, that's for sure.
10 damage.
So that fellow that is tied up is doing very poorly.
And then that's all he'll do. He'll just stand there and keep doing that over and over till all this mess gets taken care of.
As the battle continues, the man on his knees is going to look up and shout from behind his mask,
This is Gasser territory. You're gonna regret this.
and he is going to jump towards Elijah. And he makes an attack, does a 19 hit Elijah.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm just going to take that without casting shield because, yeah, that'd be a waste.
So roll. He's going to, as he approaches you, you see the miasma come from his gas mask again, and you're going to need to make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw as the noxious fumes wrap around your head.
Ooh, 21.
So you make your saving throw, but you take 13 damage
Oh, my
as
goodness.
the nauseous fumes corrode away the inside of your lungs. You are
Oh, my God. Yeah, all my lungs are burning. I'm burning from the ends. I'm about to die.
you feel intense pain. It is now the gunner Gasser's turn. He is going to turn to Granny Glenda, who is behind him, and he is going to forego the use of his revolver to grab at Granny Glenda and release the noxious fumes once more. Does a 15 hit Granny Glenda?
No, my armor class is 16.
So the fumes come around Granny Glenda, but she is able to deftly move out of the way, pulling her dress up.
Oh, my God. This is so much worse than that wook weed.
You just gotta be fastest, honey.
Granny Glenda, it is your turn.
So Granny Glenda is going to continue pursuing the original guy who just turned around to attempt to hit her with the fumes. And this time I'm going to take my needles and I'm going to stab him again, but I'm going to try to aim for like an area on the face, like maybe if I could see where the gas mask attaches to try to pop the gas mask
Okie
out.
dokie. Go ahead. Roll for attack.
That's gonna be a 12 to hit.
Okie dokie. 12 does not hit
Okay.
and do any damage, but let's roll on the D100 to see if the mask stays on. We're going to give it a 60% chance. You do not deal any damage to the gasser, but you do manage to slice at the buckle holding on the gasser's mask. As you do so, the mask pops off, and I'm going to need you to make a DC 17 wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God. Dice don't fit.
Be wise, Granny. Be wise.
That.
Be wise.
3 dice roll. That was. No, I got 15.
So you snap off the mask, and for a moment, the mask falls from the fighter's face. And before he can reach up a hand to put the mask back over, a visage so horrible, so mind-bendingly horrendous, a twisted visage of something between life and death and madness itself emblazons in your consciousness, and you are horrified, and you are going to take 10 psychic damage as whatever you just saw scars you for life.
I have seen a lot in my day. A lot. But I can promise you that you never ever want to look at that thing.
The bruiser from the Heaven's Devils turns to Remy the Riz. No, and it is going to attempt to shove Remy off the roof. Does an 18 beat your AC?
It does.
It sidesteps to push you down into the alleyway towards Elijah Woodstone. As you fall, you take
Featherfall.
Oh snap!
And I'm gonna catch. As she floats down, I'm gonna catch her rat body in my hands and set her down on the ground.
So while the two of you are clustered together, with King Kenzie forgetting to take turns not far behind you, the Heaven's Devil Bruiser reaches into his vest, and he's going to use his action to pull out a green, almost turtle shell looking capsule with a handle and a pin. He pulls the pin and tosses the grenade at your feet. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should run away.
Seven.
Oof. Remy?
21.
Alright, if you got a 21, you're going to take half damage from this. That's going to be 9 damage on a fail, and 5 damage on a success. Good thing you got Featherfall there, Remy.
Elijah falls to the ground unconscious.
It is Remy's turn.
Oh my god, thank you, sir.
He's unconscious.
I'm unconscious.
Alright, Remy's gonna get up around into the alleyway.
Alright.
And
I think there's one dude still snared, unless it goes away with me falling.
I don't know if it's a
It just said,
concentration
no, it's
spell.
not concentration. It just says 6 hours unless he makes the save.
He has failed the save consistently.
All right, so he's still. You got one dude hanging 3 feet off the ground, and the other guy is still there as well.
They are pretty severely bloodied.
So I'm gonna go for the one that's hanging with my rapier. Um, 21 hits.
Yes, 21 hits.
And I'm using sneak attack.
He's restrained. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Is this the one that Drake's been chomping at?
Drake is underneath him chomping.
Nice.
So 8 total piercing damage.
Describe how you put this tortured man out of his misery.
Alright, so Remy is just infuriated, just goes and slits out the throat.
All right, so he hangs in the air, still restrained by this snare that lasts about 6 hours, and he can no longer make saving throws against it as his body dangles in the air. King Kenzie, no longer shocked, is going to take a turn to cast Cure Wounds on Elijah Woodstone. Elijah, you are back up with 9 HP.
Did I go negative with that last, or do I only go to 0?
You only go to 0.
Okay, so now I'm at 9. All right.
In some versions of the rules, if you take enough damage to equal your total health in negative, then you would automatically die.
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't come up.
I sit up in my seated position, and I cough up some blood. And I don't think it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Oh, it is? Okay, so I'll use half my movement to get up and kind of survey my area here.
Yeah, there is one more gasser remaining on the ground. There is a bruiser from the heaven with a Heaven's Devils badge on his back on the roof of the right abandoned building. There is a gasser with a gun on the roof of the left building, and Granny Glenda is on the roof of the left building.
All right, I've had about enough with these goddamn gassers and their nasty mouths. So I'm going to go to the one that's still alive and whip out my dagger and kind of give it a spin in my hand, and then proceed to just stab him. I have 2-weapon fighting, so I can bonus that. I can hit him twice with that dagger.
I think, I'm not sure that, is that how 2-weapon fighting works?
Yeah, it's basically like if I take that attack action and attack with a light melee weapon, like my dagger that I'm holding in one hand, I can use the bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon that I'm holding in the other hand, so I guess it could be like my horns or something.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, you can do a dagger and a horn attack.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hit him twice, just in case once isn't enough to put this motherfucker away. Let's see. Well, first one's going to miss the dagger. This is why you do 2. And the second one will hit with a 25.
All right, let's get some damage.
So, out of my frustration from almost dying, I miss completely that dagger strike and sort of knocks it out of my hand on the wall behind him, and just frustrated, give him a good old headbutt, and it is max damage, 1d4 plus 4 for 8 damage.
Yeah.
Describe the blow.
Nice. So like I said, I'm like frustrated, the knife, I got blood on me, my own blood, which was really upsetting. And try to stab him, and like it like scrapes my knuckles up against the stone, and just like forces me to miss and drop the dagger. And then out of more rage, I just like smash my head, a good headbutt, and the, like 2 front prongs. One goes just like through the side of his head, and then the other one like goes right through his eyeball, and just like
My goodness.
breaks through the gas mask.
Elijah Woodstone with his girthy horns, ladies and gentlemen.
Got girth, baby.
So as the second gasser falls to his death, it is now Xzzantor's turn.
He looks at Elijah and he's like, bro, like, feels good, doesn't it, Eli? You know, and he kind of makes contact because he sees Elijah as like this country boy who's like, you know, coming out, and it's to see him like stab this dude with his horns in this bloody rage. is wonderful in Xzantor's eyes, and not only that, but he's also seen his baby Drake, like, you know, basically like jumping for this hanging guy, and then the hanging guy gets his throat slit up, and then so now there's a bunch of blood coming and raining on his little baby dragon. It's a great scene for Xzantor. So he's like, you know what, just everybody bask in it. He doesn't care. He doesn't want Drake to do anything except just enjoy the moment, the bloodshed. He's real happy about that, and so he snaps another crossbow bolt up there to Granny Glenda's guy on the roof to try to go ahead and handle that chump. He sees the big what he considers like just too big to kind of mess with, and he's going to like pull back, back to the left away from that side a little bit, and then try to like shoot another crossbow bolt up there towards the one with Granny Glenda.
Alrighty, roll for attack.
16.
Unfortunately, 16 is not enough to hit.
Alright, so he's trying to move to kind of get better positioning, and the crossbow bolt just like whizzes by the dude's head. And then that's it. You don't have double attack.
All right. So the gasser with the gun, still engaged with Granny Glenda, is going to attempt another shot at Granny Glenda. Does a 22 hit Granny Glenda?
Yeah, of course.
Granny Glenda's going to take 12 damage as a bullet slides through her left leg.
Yeah, Granny Glenda's not doing hot right now. She is, like, hurting pretty bad.
Granny Glenda, it is your turn.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So as a bonus action, I will take a healing potion, which is what is it? A D12?
I think it's a D8 plus 4.
Okay.
Or plus 2.
Yes, 7. So I heal for 9 for 9 hit points, and then I will use my attack to hit this gunner again with my sewing needles. Natural 1.
Oh. You're going to drop your sewing needles to the ground. It is the bruiser's turn, who is going to look down from his perch atop the building at the individual who has been shooting at them. He's going to pull out his shotgun and he's going to take a shot at Xzantor.
I never. We have no beef with you, brother.
He lies.
Well, Xzantor assumes that like the ones in the gas mask are like different than the dude in the jacket. That might be an incorrect assumption, but
that's actually not an incorrect assumption. So if that's the reasoning that you're arguing with, that's great reasoning. He's going to kind of tilt his head and consider what you said. As does a 16 hit Xzantor?
Yes, it does.
All right, so Xzantor is going to take.
Is this a buckshot or a birdshot?
He's going to take 9 damage.
Yes, he will. Is the sound he makes.
And you see the bruiser look down at his weapon. It sort of quizzically pulls the trigger. Looks like it's empty. He is going to put it on his back and grab his club. He's going to jump down to the ground from the building above. It is now Remy's turn.
Alright, Remy is was between the alleyway, so Remy has scaled the wall of the building, positioning her rapier and fastening it to her tail. and climbs up close enough to hit the gasser, still on the side of the building.
Okay, so she's using her rat abilities and her prehensile tail to climb up the wall and stab at the...
I think he's dead already.
No, there were 3 gassers. 2 are dead. The one on the guy with the gun on the roof is also a gasser. Okay. The one with the shotgun is a Heaven's Devils.
Damn.
Enforcer.
Yeah, good move. Those things suck.
Okay. 19.
That hits.
To hit.
And we'll call that sneak attack damage, as they are currently flanked by Granny Glenda.
Sweet.
7 plus 1 plus 6. So that's 14.
Describe the blow.
Right.
Remy the Ruiner.
So, the rapier is slashing at the Achilles. The gasser kind of gets on his knees, falls forward, and I would love for him to fall into Eli's horns.
Yes.
Just got a dead body on top of my rack.
Yeah. As the dead body falls, it lands on Eli's stout, girthy horns.
Did y'all feel that?
4. I'm like, 4!
The enforcer is the only one remaining from his group. King Kenzie approaches.
Get him, King.
Surely you don't want this, right?
And he's going to, similar to Xzzantor, attempt to reason with this fighter. The leather jacket wearing bruiser looks at him between gritted teeth.
The time for talking is long gone.
And so King Kenzie is going to, if you insist, is going to reach back and punch forward. And as he punches forward, his fist turns green with necrotic energy, and he is going to cast deal wounds.
Nice.
It's like the opposite of cure wounds. As his fist smashes into the enforcer, you see his skin grow necrotic where Kenzie punches. Then quickly return to a healthy hue. The bruiser is not quite down, but he is severely hurt. Elijah, it is your turn.
All right. So Elijah's going to survey the area and look for like a patch of like loose rocks, and noticing like maybe like behind him or to the side on the edge of the building, if there's like a patch of like loose stones.
Some
like
gravel. There's
some
stones
rubble,
around. Yeah.
like kind of large size, like within like good chunks.
You're on a mountain.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab a patch of the rock, and you're gonna see it levitate in the air, and then just fly and directly hit him in the back. And he's got to make a dex save. That's casting catapult.
It's the first time we've seen catapult.
Yeah.
He fails.
All right, so you see like my talisman floats up, and it's like the rocks float up at the same time the talisman kind of floats up around my neck, and then it kind of whips to the side, and you see this whole pile of rocks just go flying towards the back of this guy. And
give us some damage.
He's going to take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
My goodness. All right, describe the blow.
So yeah, he's like the first few impacts that like kind of jostles him to the point where when he turns around, and then the final last big rock just like embeds itself into his face, like in nose, mouth area, and just caves all of that inward, and he drops down dead.
All right, the battle is over, and amongst the ruinous debris around the battlefield near these abandoned buildings directly off the road, you see Remy Riz's you see Remy Riz's bag of holding on the ground next to one of the fallen gassers.
I'm gonna grab it and return it, and like it's got some of my blood and their blood on it. Like, I believe this belongs to you, ma'am. And I'm gonna like fall down.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. This hurts a lot.
I have been on the road alone. Do you guys mind if I stick around with you guys? Just for a bit?
The more, the merrier. I'm gonna
King-
pop a health potion real quick.
Kenzie looks at you and
Says, well, we're going to Valley Jam, and if you'd like to join us, you're of course welcome to. We tend to take on riders, much to our detriment, but we can't help it. It's who we are. We're just a bunch of happy tricksters.
Xzantor's for sure searching bodies right now, looking for all the stuff.
Yeah, so Xzzantor, go ahead and give me a perception roll as you search the battlefield, and let's see what you find.
Granny Glenda will help him.
Okie dokie, make that perception roll with advantage.
It's 14.
All right, Granny Glenda.
Oh. I thought it was just him. With advantage?
And I'm
Also with
helping her.
advantage. Yeah. You guys are helping each other.
Split the
6.
Was with advantage, you got a 6?
Yeah, I rolled a 3 twice.
All right, so it is Xzantor who, picking through the bodies on the ground. Xzantor, you, let me ask you this: Are you looting the
rider? That's
the-
who I would go to. The dude with the jacket. If he's dead, like that's.
Yeah. So you find on his person his shotgun, just double-barreled. It currently has no ammunition. You find one frag grenade. And you find his vest with the Heaven's Devil's logo on it. And you see that it is strong, of a tightly woven material on the inside. Out of character, you know that this is a bulletproof vest. Granny Glen. Oh, you.
A little too. Look, you guys. I know these vests and these symbols from my pirate days. Like this. I don't really want to hold on to this. I think it's bulletproof. Do any of you guys want this thing? He had a shotgun and some other stuff I'm keeping, but
I mean, this grandma's always looking for some extra protection. You know, I am so frail and old.
I will point out that it is a leather jacket with a lot of patches on it. Most prominent of which is the Heaven's Devil's patch.
he would hand it over to Granny if she wanted it.
All right. You also find on his person $500.
Nice.
Granny Glenda, as you're searching the battlefield after Xzantor, you find a lot of money on the different bodies of the fighters, and you find $900. You find a scroll that you cannot identify, and you find the revolver that belonged to the gasser. The revolver has 4 bullets remaining in its chambers.
I was gonna say I wanted to go back and search the back of that van and see if they have any other stolen contraband.
Totally. So you go search the van?
Yeah, I'm gonna search the van.
You find in the van an additional $1,000. You find 2 gold bars worth $1,000 each, and you find a tank, a metal tank filled with some sort of compressed gas. Embossed on the tank is written property of the Gassers.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab that stuff and load it up into our van.
Well, as you're searching
Maybe.
this area, John Paul approaches. Hey, y'all, what was all that noise? The fellow at the gas station said he's called the Fuzz. We've got to get out of here. He is going to inform you that the gas station attendant is alarmed.
John Paul, man, we got ambushed.
We see that, but it looks like you're the ones holding the smoking guns. And he's going to point to Granny Glenda and Xzzantor, who are literally holding smoking guns.
Don't worry about it, JP. Come on, Drake. Let's get out of here.
I mean, you didn't see anything. We should just go ahead and leave.
John Paul, we got a new friend. This is Remy. Remy coming along with us.
Hello.
You all, do you all leave the area with your newfound goods? Are you taking everything, including the tank that you found? The tank is about the size of, like a scuba diving tank, so the size of a small child.
Oh.
There is room in the van if you'd like to take it, but it has.
You said bag of holding.
I did say bag of holding as well. Yes.
That was Remy's, right?
Yeah,
You gave it back to her, right?
belongs to
Yeah.
Remy.
Can we put it in Remy's bag of holding?
We can put everything in there.
Can we put
Yeah.
everything in Remy's
With
bag
all
of
your
holding?
aids and efforts to help me, absolutely.
I know. I've heard stories of these bags that can hold just ridiculous quantities of material.
Well, I'm not putting my stuff in your bag of holding. I'm keeping it on me. No offense, but I just, I think I know better.
Yeah, I didn't find nothing.
As you all dash away with the tank labeled property of the Gassers hidden in Remy Riz's bag of holding, thousands of gold or thousands of bucks richer, you all make it to the van, which John Paul has pulled up onto the road outside of the grocery store and fill-up station.
Xzzantor's trying to express how dangerous those symbols could be on the jacket, and that Granny should knit over it or something. He doesn't. He
How does Xzzantor know that? Let's roll history to see if Xzzantor has any knowledge of
I imagine from his pirate days. he's
pirate
heard of
gangs.
these
Yeah,
things.
sure. There are pirate gangs that use patch symbols to identify themselves.
He rolled a 2 for his.
Xzzantor does not know about them, though, and so although he intends to look out for Granny Glenda, he is not possessed of the knowledge he is attempting to share. And so Granny Glenda is none the wiser. Being an assassin of her own with connections of ill repute, Granny Glenda, why don't you roll history to see if you are familiar with the use of patches for gang relationship.
Oh, that's gonna be a 10.
No one is aware of the tendency of gangs to use patches on clothing to identify themselves.
It's such a cool jacket.
I really think it's quite beautiful material, and what fun and fancy designs.
On the front right, just above where the heart would be, there is a large-breasted cow person wearing a tight-fitting one-piece bathing suit, and underneath it says Sailor Johnny. You all pile into the van and proceed down the road. As you do, in the rearview mirror, you spy red and blue flashing lights. John Paul quickens the van, and it seems as though the red and blue flashing lights are not pursuing your van as they remain in the distance. The miles pass. The afternoon gives way to evening. Unless you all have any special stops to make, you will make it another couple 100 miles or so, and it will be time to stop for the evening to camp in anticipation of driving in to the gates of the Valley Jam.
I would say that if we keep doing like the honor system of what we've been doing, splitting our gold between the entire party like a community, it would be, we had 4,400 gold or bucks total. Divided by 8, it would be 550 apiece.
Xzzantor, did you reveal the amount of bucks that you found to the group?
He found 500.
All right. And everyone is splitting what they found evenly?
Yeah, it was 500, 900, 1,000, and then 2 gold bars worth 1,000 each would be 4,400 divided by 8.
So those gold bars are not able to be divided currently. You just have those 2 gold bars. So let's bring that down to, what is that, 2,400?
2,400.
And that's going to be divided 8 ways.
Among the whole van?
Yeah, everyone in the group gets a split.
So 300,
Right.
300 each right now.
All right, so you each get 300 bucks to add to your supplies. If no one is calling for a stop, the van makes it to a fairly simple campground where a fire pit lies slightly warm from use by travelers the day previous. The sun sets, night falls on the adventurers, who spend some time telling tales and getting to know each other, and their new companion, Remy Ruse. So Remy, what's your story? Where do you come from? John Paul asks Remy.
Well, I come from a city that is very congested, and unfortunately, my parents were murdered.
So tragic?
Yes, it was a long time ago when I was very young, and from then on, I have been on my own through the city, but gained a reputation, a good reputation.
For what? What do you do?
I am a investigator detective. I solve mysteries, crimes, make sure the innocent don't get harmed.
Granny Glenda, you realized earlier through perception checks that Remy was from your time. Do you reveal that information to the group?
I think I'd probably reveal it to the members I've been traveling with, like kind of go up to Xzzantor and Elijah and be like, "Hey, hello, fellas. I just thought that you guys should know I saw that Remy person in Jim James's shop a long time ago, and before we ever stepped through that ball of light."
I had a feeling she might have been a fellow traveler. And I'm going to go back in current time talking to Remy and say, did you hear that news, bro, like news message that came through the traveling monster, the vehicles, the cars? Did you hear the broadcast? It talked about magic and time travel.
Elijah, are you saying are you one of the past people?
I think very much she might have got sucked through that same portal.
Do you think that Remy was aware of the time travel?
I believe Remy knows that something is off, but can't really...
Didn't hear the broadcast.
Didn't hear the broadcast.
You probably haven't been in a hippie van traveling on the road. My goodness, girl.
We'll keep the radio turned on. I bet they'll play it again where you can hear it for yourself while we're riding.
Sounds good.
John Paul turns on the radio and is changing channels, blasting it from the van, and all you really hear is static until you get to an advertisement. Come on, you crazy cool cats! The Valley Jam starts tomorrow. Win free tickets here for the first time ever on WOOK. And you're gonna hear him just click off the thing. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're doing news right now. It's just giveaways. One of those call-in deals. Oh, I don't have a phone, though, so I can't call in.
What is a phone?
We've got so much to show you, Eli. With a phone, you can talk to people anywhere in the world. You just hold it to your face and speak the words, and they can hear them like you're right next to each other.
That's pretty cool. You'll have to show me some of that.
One day we might have use for it.
Well, let's go find us one of them phones and win us some tickets.
Eli, it's the middle of the night.
Oh.
We're camping. We've already got tickets.
Oh.
So do any of you guys play? Like, do y'all have any band stuff going on? He looks at Granny and Eli, and he's like, he's been trying to get this band. Xzzantor's been trying to get this band going the whole time, and he doesn't really know how to play, but he still thinks it's going to be cool, and he assumes that there's going to be more of this, like, merriment and band stuff. So he's like, low-key, like, trying to get a band together within the van or within
Trace Kinos.
Yeah, Trace Kinos. You remember? Yes.
John Paul has spent many wonderful hours playing music with Xzzantor, of course. They are old jamming buddies at this point.
Eli doesn't quite understand the concept of tickets, so he just figures more tickets are better than just a little bit of tickets.
Well, you can always sell the tickets. Listen, if you want to try to find a phone and go do all that, it's no problem. It's just that it's very late, and it's not likely that you're going to make it to a phone anywhere. We've been driving through the mountains for hours.
That's all right. I just got excited at the opportunity.
It's those commercials. They're made to make you excited, love. You just got to ignore them. I don't like being advertised to. It's why we don't have the radio on all the time.
Yeah, it kind of like invoked something in my subconscious.
It's what they're trained to do. They spend a lot of money, these advertisement men, up on Madison Avenue. Madison Avenue's in New Lund.
Sounds like witchcraft to me.
It's a bit of corpo bullshit. Yes, I don't much care for the corpos. They pretend to be like us, There's going to be a lot of different groups where we're going. You guys just interacted with some of the Heaven's Devils. You've got some gases.
Well, yeah,
King Kenzie interrupts.
listen, hopefully not all of these groups will be there, but the Wooks, the Happy Tricksters, the Warheads, the Gassers, the Fuzz. The road's made up of all different cliques and crews. I'm so happy you're a part of ours. The Happy Tricksters are some of the better folks on the road, I think.
And he sort of looks off into the distance with pride, with his hands on his hips.
I bet them gassers be willing to pay a pretty penny here for this tank.
I don't know, son.
Woohoo! Owlsley pipes in. Best be careful with those gases. They're very serious about their territory. They don't want anyone infringing upon their business. Nobody else is allowed in the gas game. I dare say it's dangerous you even have that stuff with you.
What is it?
Nobody really knows. Sometimes they call it laughing gas, but it's a hideous laughter. I don't know. I have tried many a fair substance in my day, but I have yet to experience the gases' laughter.
Maybe we dabble a little bit for scientific purposes.
Remy, you said you're from the city. You ever heard of this stuff?
I have not. It's new to me.
And Elijah, you want to get down, huh? I mean, I'm down to get down if you want to get down. It seems like all these new stuff. You remember last time when we were with those Wook characters? We tried their doobies, and we passed out, and we lost our. Well, I lost my egg. We lost our cool stuff. I'm down to. What do you do? What do you think, Owlsley? You ever tried this stuff?
I just explained that I have never tried it, and I really advise against trying it. It is hideous and awful, and seems to turn you into something evil. But if you want to try it, I won't stand in your way. I'm not here to judge, but I did literally just explain how bad I think it is.
I say we follow Owsley's lead here. My lungs are kind of still burning from, I think, what was possibly a weaponized version of this gas. And it sucked pretty bad. So maybe we hold off until we learn more about it.
Sure, store it with the hag.
Maybe there's a dosage.
It's currently in the bag of holding that Remy Riz has.
Oh, nice.
So the night goes on. The group commiserates and bonds around the fire. And tomorrow morning, you'll be traveling into your first real music festival, the Valley Jam. And we'll pick up there next time on the next thrilling episode of Wooks and Warlocks.
Round and around in the tunnel when it's dark we go, searching through the rubble for what once was spark like a shout in the night. And the sight of the past, it can fill us with fear all night, though we know the wheel comes back after time. Oh, sweet time. And the soul will rise from the ashes. We will climb as we shout into the night. Let no man use my battle cry.
Wooks and Warlocks features Anthony Ryan as Xzzantor, the Bugfolk Ranger, Jesse Bennett as Granny Glenda, half Foxfolk Rogue, John Lombardi as Elijah Woodstone, the Elk Folk Wizard, and Trey Miller as Dungeon Master. Intro and outro feature the song Flight of the Phoenix by Tirefire. Recording and editing are completed in-house by the Wooks and Warlocks team, recording consultation provided by Adam Horwitz. You can find us online at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord under the name Wooks and Warlocks. Links can be found in the description. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Wooks and Warlocks, please contact us at wooksandwarlocks@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
Dark clouds brewing a storm deep in the sky. Words spoken in anger, vibrant like a neon sign in the mind's eye, multiplied by time and time again. It's those we love that we lose when we struggle with what's inside, just hoping for hope, something to ward off the fright. And the soul will rise from the ashes.